Back now with the aged horses, we're going to run through them. Geez, they've been having a pretty good run, and the ones that are training back have been doing a pretty good job too. So we'll start with Brave World. What kind of a mile was that the other day? I don't watch much Northville racing, but I know I was at Northville as a groom way back when I was 19, 20 years old, and I know what kind of track it is. Not to take anything away from it, but it's a flat half-mile track, and I don't think that a lot of horses win from the E-hole there, especially the way he did. That was a big mile. I don't know Kim Pluto. I didn't even know what gender Kim Pluto was until a couple of weeks ago. And great drive by Mr. Pluto and a great race. And the Charles family done a great job with this horse. Cavill Hanover raced good the other day. As I said, it wasn't the Open. It was a bottom class. He's supposed to win it, but we got to get him back moving forward. Irv thinks that changing the shoes and working with him, he thinks he's going to get better and better and better. We'll always have a useful horse. The horse is just a decent trotter that does well on every size. Well, he doesn't do well at the Meadowlands, but he does good at most every size track. So, I told somebody the other day, they called looking to buy him, and I told them, I said, if we get an offer of a seller's price, we'll sell him. But we're not in a hurry to sell a horse like Cavill Hanover. Why would we? He's useful. So, Cavill Hanover, a good win from him also. Hi, baby girl. Adeline's been so great, too. Just sleep all the time. The opposite of what Mummy thought she'd be like. Typical good shipper. She's good shipping McDonald. Compass Rose DC trained good the other day. Going to school next week. Really excited about all our 4-year-olds coming back. I told Jason, take your time with globetrotting. Now Compass Rose DC was only off a month and a bit. Came back. We've been taking our time with her. She looked great the other day. Cruising in Style continues to race good for Mr. Dickey in Saratoga, and Mark and Michelle Treffy. I'm happy the horse is racing well in their backyard. I mean, it's great when we have horses that where a vast majority of the ownership group, it's in their backyard. Horses like Cruising in Style or Time on Houdini that can win races for these people at their home track. It's just a great feeling. So happy for them and happy for Cruising in Style. Don't believe me, just watch. We'll be ready to go when we're back up and going in Ontario. It was wonderful also to see that group transform in a way where we had an opportunity to sell them, and a big portion of the group didn't want to sell them. So, but they bought everybody out that did. With that was just a very the civility in that group was wonderful, and I was very happy to see watch that transform right in front of my eyes. So he'll be ready to go when Ontario is back up, hopefully on the 20th of May. Globetrotting, we're likely to be ready first part of June. There is no rush with her. I'm not going to nail down a date. We're not even going to push her hard until she looks like she is begging to go fast. I want everything to run smoothly for Globetrotting, and it has so far. Oh So Pine continues to race great. This horse got like 2 seconds a third, 2 wins. Hasn't missed the board in his last 6 starts, and has just raced absolutely tremendous every single week. And very happy with what I've seen from Oh So Pine as a 5-year-old. Path of Totality, I trained her the other day, 2-4 last half at 58 with a bow in her neck and no trotting hobbles. I'm very interested to see if she's going to race with them. That sometimes when the horses are used to wearing the hobbles their whole life, they look for them in places, right? They'll get to the turn, they'll look to bounce forward and look for the hobbles to catch them, and they're not there. So there's that little learning curve at top speed. I'm very interested to see what Path of Totality is going to do this week when we school her. Spend that money again. She'll be ready to go. I didn't really want to leave Ontario with her. That's a great class. So I feel like 70,000. She can make 30 grand in that class she was in. And that class fills all year long at different tracks. A really, really good fit for Ontario and for that group. Spirit of Dio jogged last week, so start training again. She jumped on her foot and caused a little bit of a superficial injury, much like my Jazz did, but a little less severe. She'll be ready to go, I suspect, in another week. Stonebridge Simba continues to train back. I want to put a little more weight on Stonebridge Simba when we get him closer to the races. He always carried a decent amount of weight. He looked a little thin when he came back. Not a big deal. He's a stud. He was probably just running the fence line or whatnot. He looks great on the track, though. You jogged him the other day. Was he good?
I jogged him over.
Yeah. He raced in an open and no head check last time we raced him.
Oh,
He did. No. So Stonebridge Simba looks good. Stormont Wizard, we do have him in the sale up on in May. Here's a horse, an older horse with an injured hind leg. Will he make a good racehorse for somebody? Absolutely he will. I just have had no luck. The only horse that we had with a hind suspension that came back strong was Johan. We ended up selling him, but his suspension always stayed tight, and he's still racing. So the ratio of horses that re-injured hind legs to ones that did not would be the only 1 to head to be 10. Not very often we see them come back and stay strong and not re-injure there or somewhere else. So when you talk about an 8 or 9-year-old horse, yeah, we claimed him, yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a bath on him, but that's horse racing. You're looking at the majority owner of them. We had looked to move shares around for people throughout the year, and it just didn't work out with this guy, and unfortunately it is what it is. So he'll make a good horse for somebody somewhere at some class. Taimo Houdini has been racing good. The only concern we have with Taimo Houdini is getting him raced again. The Open didn't fill last week, or he didn't get in. I hope it does this week. So I'd hate to have a talk with Ed and Jenny and Kevin about moving him because he fits so great there. But we'll see. We'll see this coming week. West 52nd should be pretty well ready to go. I know a lot of people ask me for updates. I didn't ask Jim, but Jim's a smart guy. I mean, he knows when the horse is ready to go. He was off 2 months. I suspect he will be ready to go within weeks of now. White Tiger, again, I thought he raced fantastic the other day. His line looks good. He was in a place where White Tiger should have won, actually. But first start on Lasix, coming off a break in a qualifier, and most importantly, his liver count has jumped again, and we just can't seem to get it to come down. And I don't know why. This seems to be, as we fought a pandemic here in the world, it seems like these liver counts have been a real problem. The problem is when they get up high, the horses can't function the same. And I don't really know why they're jumping. And I alluded to it in an opening video. I've seen Facebook posts where people are asking for liver count remedies from everywhere. We went through it with girl from Oz in Australia. I saw Casey was in Florida, was looking for liver count remedies. People all over Ohio and Pennsylvania. So it seems to be a problem. I know how we combated it. But it's not something that comes down right away. It's a bugger to get down, and we have the blueprint for it. So hopefully we can work on it. The fact that he raced that well with that count that high, just to put me over the edge of how I felt he raced. I thought he raced extraordinarily well, given everything he was going through the other day. So looking for him to get better and better and better as the weeks come on. As I said, I'm probably going to see me race him. You're probably going to see me race him the same way over the coming weeks. So we'll see what next week brings for White Tiger. And then yes, a ton of people asking what is going on with Yes. He had those 3 wins, he looked good. Then he had that horrible break where he looked bad, and we haven't seen him since. Is he injured? No. I know that Irv was worried that something was bothering that left hind. He was sick, and then he was trying to get him ready again. He said, geez, he just doesn't look right left hind to me. And I said, well, he always did. From the day we broke him, he always carried over on the right shaft. Then he injured that left hind. Now, with that injury, we looked at it with an ultrasound. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. So I know Irv was going to do what old horsemen do, what we used to do before we went all over horses with x-rays, was we would block them and go. So if you can't find out where an issue is, you're better to look where it isn't, right? So they would block the stifle. Okay, if the horse looks the same, it's not the stifle. Then you move to the hock, the ankle, the foot. And by the time you get down to the foot, you probably have a real good idea of at least the area, and then you can really button down on that area. So Irv was going to do that yesterday. I apologize. I haven't had an update. If there was something serious, I would have been told right away. I suspect there was nothing found, which is likely. This horse always just did go like that. He said, but he's got such a smooth gait. It's frustrating. He gets over on that right shaft. So I agree. But Irv is looking to have him perfect and have him back in to go this coming week. He's going to need a qualifier before he gets back racing. So I know it's frustrating, but at the same time, we can see how much money he can make, how fast he can go, and what he can do when he's right. Let's make sure he's right. Let's not race him until he's right. And I think Irv's 100% on point with that. So that is the aged horses. Geez, we had a good run. Brave World won. Cabell Hanover won. Taimo Houdini was second. White Tiger was fourth, and Yes is going to be back soon. Great run with the aged horses this week. Going to have a bunch of them that we are also getting ready to go and should be ready. As I said, Schooler next week for Path of Totality. Don't believe me, just watch. Is ready to go. Path of Totality will be ready to go. The horses on this list that didn't race will be racing soon. So all of our aged horses will be going or ready to go very, very soon. Be back in a minute. We still got the 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds to talk about. Be right back.